Hello, my darlings. I hope you're all doing very, very well, and Merry Christmas Eve if you are a child like me and just very excited. In today's video, I am of course doing another Tattoo Enthusiast reacts to tattoo TikToks. This is number 3 in my 5-day streak for Christmas. This is the Nightmare Fuel Advent Calendar. So I hope you're all sitting comfortably and you are cozy, you got your snacks and your beverages and maybe a little candle lit. I have a nice little candle lit back here. Okay, so instead of me rambling on forever about stuff that just doesn't matter, we're gonna just jump right on into this Nightmare Fuel.
Hey, miss, 1 second. Can
Okay, I have to pause right away, straight away. If someone come up to me like that, I would give them the dirtiest of looks and be like, can I help you? That is not how you approach people to do a TikTok with you. Just ask nicely. It's not hard. Just like, excuse me, hi, do you have a moment so I can ask you some questions? Like, wow, politeness. Anyway.
I ask you a couple quick questions real quick for this interview?
Sure.
Okay, great. So it looks like you have a lot of tattoos here. I noticed they're pretty cool on the side here. What was the worst tattoo that you have on your entire body?
My thigh.
Your thigh tattoo. What is it?
It's roses in a pocket watch, like a
Roses in a pocket watch. That's
Just
super
like a
basic.
watch.
Super basic. Okay. So if I had to ask you a question here, if you had the choice between donating $40 to a charity for dead animals off the side of the road, or receive a brand new free tattoo to cover up your thigh tattoo with the pocket watch and roses, with something completely different, what would you say?
If it's a dead animal on my thigh, then yes, I'll take the
Wait,
tattoo.
do you want a dead animal on your thigh?
Yes.
Okay, great.
This was just a whole hot mess and so rude in my opinion to even think that this person wants their tattoo covered up, you know? Like, it's just, this is, I don't know, there's something about it, just this TikTok is so off to me. I didn't enjoy that. That was not good content. There's so many ways that this could have been done so much better and nicer, and it would have been much more entertaining. Point of view, you're getting tattooed and have reached your threshold. Yes.
Turn the fucking thing up, it's driving me mad.
Yes. Oh, I'm sure we've all hit that point where you're about to hit the wall and everything starts bothering you, and I get it so bad. I was like that with my neck tattoo. I think I was getting tattooed for about 3 hours and I was ready to just tap out. I was so over it. I was so done. Anytime the tattoo artist just touched me, I was just like, oh, really? We're still doing this? But then luckily she come at me with the numbing cream and I felt like I was walking on a bed of roses. Oh my God. Everything was so easy and breezy after that. Reviewing tattooing from Amazon. Don't mind my dogs. Dogs are welcome always.
Anyways, on today's episode of Why You Shouldn't Order Cheap Ass Tattoo Ink from Amazon, we got this. I don't even know what it's supposed to be.
Oh, that's
Looks
not
like maybe
that's
it's
not
supposed to be
healthy.
like a penis box or something. I don't know. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. This one hurt my heart. Like, I don't even know how this happened. It literally looks like you stuck your hand in a meat grinder. This one, it looks like the tattoo is running straight off the skin, but the infection is setting in. Don't mind Beetle.
Oh.
This person said they've done 40 plus tattoos and don't understand why this came out like this.
Stop it. That is
The
beyond
blind
infected.
can feel and see that that is a lightning bolt.
Oh.
On today's episode of Does It Need Stitches or Not? Abso-fucking-lutely. These bozos want a refund, and his mother would like a refund. Rest in peace, Morris. Rest in peace, that arm that's on. I mean, but they want a refund. They want a refund from Amazon. They want a refund.
I'm not a religious person, but I think I really do need Jesus just to come and take me now. I've seen enough. I've had enough. Like, they were some of the most infected and irritated tattoos I've ever seen. Ever. I've seen a lot of tattoos in my lifetime. I've seen great ones. I've seen amazing ones. I've seen bad ones. I've seen infected ones. But in this short amount of time, I think that's the most infected ones I've seen in a space of time ever. Like, that is atrocious. That is a lot of medical bills right there, let me tell you.
My back is killing me.
Why is my back so sore?
Oh, I have seen not maybe that much of an extreme, like, bending over situation, but I've seen some artists be in some positions in my time, let me tell you. Tattoo artists without back problems is very rare, I would say, because a couple of the tattoo artists I've been tattooed by have, of course, back problems, and they've mentioned it, because you're just always, like, bending over or doing, like, stuff that isn't comfortable in any way, shape or form. I'd imagine, like, is it a chiropractor that deals with, like, ailments and stuff like that? I'd imagine that the biggest client base that they have is probably tattoo artists, you know, like the things they do to keep us happy. Oh, okay, so I wondered how long it'd be until one of these would pop up while I'm scrolling through my saved, right? I've actually done one of these because I have seen a couple of these on my TikTok feed when I'm, like, scrolling, you know, it'll be dog, 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 mountains, mountains, dog, 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 something funny, food, 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 dogs, then a tattoo thing. And I have seen a couple of these. I've done one myself as well. I will leave a link down below to it. Unfortunately though, I will have to mute it because it is like a copyrighted song kind of thing, but I'll try and sing it to you. Oh, you probably don't want that at all. But anyway, how I feel when my tattoos aren't showing and the song is like, look like an angel, walk like an angel, that kind of thing. It's that song, okay? And then we should see some tattoos now. Oh, wow. Oh, that is a lot of sleevage going on right there. But yeah, it's kind of to represent, mainly like in winter. I feel so untattooed in winter. Like if I wear a scarf and gloves, you can't tell I'm tattooed, right? So it's kind of like a representation of like what tattooed people look like with clothes on and like with lesser clothes on. The contrast is insane. Okay, we got another one. How I feel when you can't see my tattoos. Walk like an angel. Talk like an angel. I probably shouldn't sing so much because I might get copyright still. I mean, we didn't even get to see many. What? I feel like the purpose of this trend is like you see no tattoos, then you see quite a few tattoos, okay? But we just saw the hands and some arms, right? I mean, clearly they're heavily tattooed. But I want to see more. I wanted to see more. I'm just greedy, okay?
My stomach tattooed. And now I don't want to wear any of my high-waisted pants.
First of all, how is she so adorable? And second of all, tattooed enough people with body dysmorphia. This is usually how it goes. Literally the next appointment, they roll in with basically no clothes on. Tattoos seem to solve a lot of problems. And I stand.
100%. Like, tattoos have given me so much confidence. It's insane. I just feel like I'm meant to look like this, all tattooed, artsy, and all of that, right? And at least I don't think I have body dysmorphia. Yeah, tattoos just improve how I feel and how I look. And I'm sure a lot of us can relate. And if this is a case for you, if you get tattooed, you know, because it makes you feel better or it makes you feel like you look better or you just feel more yourself, there is nothing wrong with that. A lot of people that just don't understand it will be like, oh, you need to go and get some therapy because you clearly have some deep-rooted issues. When, yeah, all right, maybe that's the case, okay, Karen, but I look freaking awesome and now I feel great. So shut up, okay? All right, keep your opinions to yourself. I always see stuff like this on Facebook. Do you ever, like, I sometimes get tattoo articles sort of pushed on my, like, news feed from wherever, like, they're sponsored or adverts or whatever. And I'll read through the comments and it's just all of these people that just don't get it, just complaining about how tattooed people are broken and they need some help or whatever. And maybe we do, but we look cool, okay? Gothic ornamental tattoos. Yes, I'm here for this. Show me. Oh, yes. Oh, these are gorgeous. Oh, Oh, I would totally get something like that on the side of my face. You know, maybe like a little bit smaller, a little bit more daintier. But that kind of vibe is so gorgeous. Like, it's beautiful, but it's kind of still like on the like gothic side, haunting side, which is a bit of me. You know, and it kind of just looks like some evil cathedral that's a bit scary, you know?
So story time on why the little dot on my finger sent me to the hospital. So being a tattoo artist, one of the risks with the job is that you can poke yourself with a dirty needle. And usually when this happens, it happens like mid-tattoo. So, you know, you're doing your tattoo and oh no, hit your finger. Then you go through the whole process. I wish that happened to me because the way it actually happened is a little bit more embarrassing. I'm pretty clumsy as is, and I was cleaning up after the tattoo, my client was already gone, and I dropped the needle, and instead of letting it hit the floor and just dealing with the mopping situation later, I went and tried to catch it.
Oh, no.
So I caught it, but it went right into my finger. So I was like, shit, that hurts. I hope it's not bleeding, because then I have to go to the hospital. Hopefully it was just like a little nick or something. That wasn't what happened. I took off my glove and it was bleeding, so I was like, okay, now I have to go to the hospital and do the whole thing. And the whole bloodborne pathogen process, at least in Manitoba, you have to go to the hospital, get your shots, and do a whole bunch of blood work. So I go, I get my shots. I got hepatitis in one arm, tetanus in the other, then I got my blood work taken. I don't do well with needles, and you know, I was doing pretty good. Usually I'm like getting lightheaded or like almost passing out. That didn't happen, so I was really proud of myself. And they're like, okay, we need your client's information because we need to go through her chart, make sure that she's all clear for everything. And I was like, okay, that's totally fair. Gave them the information. And they came back and they're like, hey, so we actually checked your chart. You're not up to date on your shots. And I was like, what? Because I was totally under the impression that I was. You know, you get your letter when you're 18 saying that you have all your shots done. I thought mine was. So they're like, okay, we have to use some like immunoglobulin shots and we're going to put them in your butt. And I was like, okay, fine. So they come back and they're like, actually, we have to put them in your leg. And I'm like, okay, do whatever you want to do. And, you know, the nurse warned me that it was going to hurt, so I wasn't expecting a pleasant experience. She goes in my right leg and, you know, she's like, oh, she's being super cute. She's like, oh, we're going to put it in your little flower, and we're just going to do it right now. I'm like, okay, cool, go ahead. So she goes and she puts it in, and it is like a burning, searing feeling in my leg, and my leg, like, after that immediately went numb, like, from my, like, hip right down to my foot. Gone. Couldn't feel it. But again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I don't know how these things work. So she went to go do my other leg, and she put it in, and it pinched, but, like, it wasn't fiery, and my leg didn't go numb, I could still feel it. So I was like, what's going on? So I was telling the nurse, like, hey, I can't feel my leg. What's going on? Did you like hit a nerve or something? Like, if that was the case, it'd be totally fine. And they're like, no, sometimes that just happens. And I was like, okay, cool. So I sat there and I waited for like 15 minutes and I was like, I still can't feel my leg. I need to make a part 2 if you want to listen to that.
I kind of like, even though this is not like tattoo related anymore, I still kind of want to know like what happens. So like that might be boring for you, but like I have to know like the story, like what happened. But let's talk about the first part to start off with. This just goes to show how careful you have to be as a tattoo artist and why it's so important to go to a professional. I would imagine any old other person that hasn't been trained on tattooing, who tattoos in their bedroom or their kitchen or in a shed or whatever, doesn't know this type of information and how serious and dangerous this can be as a tattoo artist. Because if you touch that needle and you don't do anything about it and the person you're tattooing has some kind of infection or whatever, right, it could be detrimental to your health. It's so important to go about things the right way, and I'm so proud of this artist for doing the right thing. And I'm so glad that this kind of TikTok is around and people have seen it so people can see how serious this is and how seriously you have to take tattooing. Anyway, we're gonna watch part 2 just to, you know, get some closure on the situation.
Okay, part 2 as to why I went to the hospital because of a needle poke. So at this point, my leg is completely numb. It's been like 15 minutes. The nurse still hasn't come back. So I'm freaking out. And I'm like trying to move my leg and like bend it. And it won't bend. It's like locked in place. So I tried to like lift my leg over the bed because I was like, maybe I just need to like stand on it, get the blood flowing to it. I've been sitting here for a while. I don't know. So I lift my leg and I didn't realize how much your leg actually weighs, like dead weight. It's heavy. So I throw it off the bed and I almost fall off the bed. It makes a big whomp noise. And then, of course, the nurse comes because she's like, what's going on? I'm like, I still can't feel my leg. So she's like, oh, weird. And I'm like, okay, like, I don't know what to do here, help. And she's like, okay, it's okay, we're gonna try and move it, we're just gonna get some blood flowing into it. And I'm like, my thought process, cool, sounds great. So she's trying to move my leg and like bend my knee, and it's not going. And she's like, okay, like, relax your leg. I'm like, I literally can't feel it. So she's like, okay, can you look the other way? I'm just gonna poke it, let me know when you feel it. And a couple minutes pass, and she's like, so you're not feeling any of that? And I'm like, have you been touching my leg? She's like, yeah. I'm like, nope, still not feeling anything. She's like, okay, we're gonna let you sit for another like 20 minutes or so.
Okay, I know this isn't the time and the place to joke, because this is obviously very, very scary, but my toxic ass was just thinking, well, if my leg is numb, now's the time for a big tattoo session. Like, obviously that you just wouldn't, right? You wouldn't in this situation, but I was like, oh, if I can't feel anything, this would be the best time to get the back of my thigh tattooed.
And then you should be okay, push the call button if you need anything. I'm like, okay, again, like, if you hit a nerve, that's okay. I just want to know what's happening to me. And she's like, no, like, this happens sometimes. I'm like, okay, again, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what's happening. So another like 20 minutes passed, she doesn't come back, and then another like 10 minutes, so it's been like half an hour since this point, like a total like 45 minutes. I cannot explain to you the discomfort. Pins and needles times like 1,000. Like, it felt like, when someone holds like a match up too close to your finger, you like burn it by accident? That's what it felt like from my foot up to my groin. It was so painful, and like it lasted for a good 5 minutes. I was sitting there grunting and groaning in pain, like literally losing my mind, trying to like massage it and whatever. The nurse comes back, she's like, what's going on? I'm like muttering words at her, like literally crying at this point because of how bad it is. And then she's like, okay, just take some deep breaths, like trying to calm me down. And then like, it passes eventually. But it felt like 20 minutes, but it was probably only like a few minutes. And, she's like, okay, like, do you feel good enough to go home? Do you have a ride? I'm like, no, I'm driving myself. Also driving stick at the time, not easy. So I get up and I'm like limping out of it. By the time I got home, I just like limped into bed and was just like, I am so exhausted. And my leg was sore for like days after. Ended up going to a nurse to get like some other shots that I needed. And I asked, I was like, so like, they said they didn't pinch my nerve. And she's like, oh no, they pinched your nerve. They're just not allowed to tell you that in case it's something more. Great. Thank you so much for that.
Oh my gosh, all of this ordeal because, they caught a tattoo needle. I mean, I guess in the long run, this could maybe save their life if they're getting shots that they didn't have and they needed them. So I guess that's like the silver lining here, maybe? I don't know. This poor tattoo artist, like, I'm sure they'll just be extra careful from now on to make sure that that doesn't happen. Like, I'm very much the same of like, I have this like surprisingly quick reflex when it comes to catching things. Like, there's a light here that always falls down when I'm filming, and for whatever reason I can just grab it, like I'm just reflex. And I do it a lot with like stupid stuff, like these things, right? Do you know how many times I've dropped this and then grabbed it from the top end after lighting like 10 candles and it's boiling hot? Like, it's just a natural human thing to just grab things, right, when it's falling. So they're not in the wrong or whatever, but I'm sure they're going to be a bit more wary about it from now on. Time to get a forehead cover-up tattoo. What? Okay. So is this going over the barbed wire? It is. Oh my god, that's gnarly. That is a big forehead tattoo. Oh, that's going to be so sharp and just uncomfortable. And like the vibration on the forehead is going to be so much. Oh, yeah. Oh, I just know, like, I've had my eyebrows tattooed and that wasn't, well, I had numbing, but when the numbing wears off, it's so painful. So this area is super painful. And like, if you think of like, if you pluck your eyebrows or wax your eyebrows, that hurts as it is. Imagine a needle in that area. Like, the skin is so thin and sensitive. Oh my goodness. Oh, we're getting right up in there. Yep. Oh, bless him. Oh, I just get like secondhand pain. Like I can feel my head hurting. Oh my gosh, not much has even been done yet. I mean, tiniest of line work, thick line work, but they're already going through the most. I'd be ready to tap out by now. I'd be so over it. Oh, we're going for dot work. That's going to be better. That won't be as painful, from my experience anyway. Dot work is great. But it is quite an intense dot work. Oh, but it's so nice. I'm just in awe of this. We're still going. We're still going. Oh my gosh. That is solid. Still going. Oh, this bit doesn't seem as bad for them though. You know, there's just something about dot work. It's much better. Oh, no. Oh, no, we're still going. Oh my god. Nearly done, I'd imagine. Right? Oh my god. I'm exhausted watching this. I feel like I'm going through this myself. I like it though. Oh, I wish we got to see like a more of a like close, not close up, but like distance close up situation there. Wonder if they've got any more TikToks of it, what it looks like now. Yes, because I can't leave you hanging and I can't leave me hanging. I love it. I am so about this. This is gorgeous and it fits their aesthetic so much. It's much better than the barbed wire. And the eyes did a pretty damn good job of covering up that barbed wire. Like you can see maybe a little bit of lines here and there, but if you didn't know the barbed wire was there, I don't think you would notice it, if that makes sense. I like that a lot. Obviously, big face tattoos aren't for everyone, but I'm a fan, okay? Okay, my loves, I'm going to react to one more for this video.
Today we went for removal number like 10 or some shit.
Oh.
And I just want to say that I'm in a lot of pain today. And, hold on. The hands are hurting pretty fucking bad this time.
Oh. Oh. I have a lot of questions. I have questions. Like, I can't really go from praising one person for having a face tattoo, right? And then the next one, someone has a questionable face tattoo and then being like, oh, that's not, you know, like that's a bit, is that a bit hypocritical of me? It's just a bold choice to have, you know, a sugar skull face tattoo or elements of a sugar skull tattooed on your face. You know, like, it's bold. Oh, I'm sure there's reasons, and who am I to judge at the end of the day? You know, like, everyone's life is different, and everyone's path is different, and, you know, it's just not for me. Okay, my darlings, so that's it for this video. I hope you're all doing very well, and until my next one, which is tomorrow for Christmas Eve, I hope you all stay safe and well, and until then, bye.